Well, welcome back here in our series of videos, and what I want to cover over is concrete grinding. Now, we have individual machines here, individual methods of grinding concrete. Now, you come across different jobs. Sometimes when you're working down in your basement and you've got an uneven concrete pour, you have some waves in it when they were pouring the concrete, you want to get it flat, because a lot of people are putting down engineered hardwood now. So in that case, you've got to have a smooth, flat surface, or you should have. So one way to get that surface back smooth is by grinding the concrete. Sometimes you'll be taking out a wall in a basement, and you might have a hump there, and you want to grind down just the smaller areas. This is something else that we can use as a smaller grinder. Say we're also going to epoxy the area. Epoxy needs a nice grip. It needs a surface ground off on the concrete, so you expose the aggregate a bit underneath so your epoxy can get a good hold. This would be a lot prevalent in doing a garage. So you need to go over that whole surface, grind it all down, expose that concrete, get that top surface off that was troweled smooth, or by a power trowel or by hand troweling, and get that exposed off so you're getting into a bit of the concrete meat so that your epoxy can grab. So what you want to use is, for the smaller little jobs, is here's a grinder with a cupstone, we call it, on it. This is a diamond wheel. All of these have a diamond product on them, and what we mean by that, it's an industrial diamond, and they're embedded in a matrix or a carrier and they're attached to the steel. And so that gives it a lot better wear than using something like a grinding wheel or anything. So this type of grinder is really good for smaller areas. You use it flat, you go back and forth. You can put a vacuum attachment on it, as most of the grinders do have, and you can grind these smaller areas and blend them in. Even if you're using a larger grinder, you can use this on the edges, maybe corners, maybe tough areas underneath stairs or whatever. But this is a real good choice, except that you're bent down, so be aware of that. If it's a large area, it can be pretty backbreaking using this type of grinder. So keep it flat, move around in an easier motion, blend in what you're trying to do, holes, humps, or anything, and you'll get a successful finish with this grinder. Now, if you're getting into a smaller area, or a bigger area, but say it's in the basement, this size of grinder's a good choice. And the reason for that is because it's a little more portable. You can move the handle down. It gives you a handle on the front. You could have this handle swung back or whatever. The wheels are in the back. You could probably bump it down the stairs. If you're by yourself, or two people could easily carry this down. So it's a good size, good portable size. It's got a 10-inch diamond wheel on it, on the bottom. So this one here would say you're going to put down that engineered hardwood in the basement, or you've got an uneven pour, or maybe you've got to clean up some roughness on the floor. This would probably be a good choice. You want to make sure you set it so it's level by your two levers here. You can loosen them off and set it up level. You can put a vacuum on it, which is a good idea, especially being down in the basement. And you start this, and you'll just be going back and forth and moving. It's very easy to roll it around and get yourself a nice even surface and blend it in. If you got the vacuum on, or somebody else vacuuming at the same time, because you're going to lay down a fair bit of concrete dust, it would be a good idea, just so you can keep the amount of dust down. You can hook a hose up to this particular unit and spray water on it to keep the dust down. Just be aware that when you do that with concrete dust, you're going to end up with like a slurry. So it becomes fairly messy to try to clean up. You're going to need squeegees and even a wet vac to clean up the surface. But again, it's up to you, depending on your location and how much dust you can handle, I guess. So that's a real good choice. Bear in mind, it's you go from small kind of to medium, and then you'll go up into a little larger machine. This machine is heavier. It uses what we call diamond blocks. And again, it's still a diamond grinding surface that you're putting. It has a weight on the front of it, becomes much more aggressive. And this machine also has a big vacuum attachment on the back of it. And because it's heavier, it's going to be more aggressive for larger areas, so it doesn't take you so long. This one particular one, you just turn, just like a motorcycle handle, you just turn it on and you'll swivel back and forth and around. And probably an ideal one if you're going to do a garage, single or double car garage, and get it ready for epoxy. Probably any surface that where this one's a little more, a little heavier, is an area that you can just drop it off the back of a truck or something and leave it there at the area, maybe even if it's outside, or a patio area that has to be ground, or that you could use this to grind it, but you don't have to carry it a big distance, let's say. Even though you can tip it up and roll it, it is a heavy machine to move around. So, and it has a larger motor on it as well. So these are kind of 3 different progressions for some concrete grinding. Any person can do it. It's not that difficult. Once you get it in position, the moving and swiveling back and forth is certainly capable by anybody. The smaller one probably takes a little more finesse because you're holding it. Now bear in mind, you're grinding concrete down and making it smooth. You're not taking off 2, 3, or half an inch or a quarter inch of concrete. This is for redressing the surface, exposing the aggregate, or smoothing it out for a floor. But if you're going to get into some progressive grinding, where maybe it's sidewalks uneven, or a slab is lifted, say on your front of your garage, going into your garage, and it's lifted up. In that case, you're getting into what's called a scarifier. This is a much more aggressive grinder, because your grinding on the other machines would take much too long. But the cutting surface on this is not smooth. These are very aggressive chipping cutters. These are loose on that drum, and when this is turned on, you'll go along the surface, but what it's actually doing is chipping the surface. And it's like taking your fingers and dragging them along sand. That's the surface you're going to end up with. And then possibly if you wanted to smoothen that out, then you could go to one of these other grinders and maybe smooth that out and get yourself a little smoother surface. But to get that down and get a quarter, half inch down of that, you've got to use something more aggressive like a scarifier. And you'll go back and forth with it, and it'll chip the concrete off. They're usually always outside, hence the gas engine, a little stronger than using electric. And you can get it down, and you can go on an angle, you can go sideways, you can go on an angle. You'll grind and then go off the surface, and grind and go off the surface, back and forth. So consider this if you're going to be trying to get some slabs down even, and maybe you could redress them with one of these if need be. So there's some consideration for different ways of grinding some concrete, and hopefully this will make your jobs a little easier. And hope you subscribe.